Okay, we're live. Hey everybody, this is Bradley Benner with Mastery PR and Semantic Mastery. This is the Content Kingpin bonus Q&A webinar or a launch webinar, I guess you can call it. We're essentially just going to be answering questions and talking a little bit about what the product is and what you can expect from it, the benefits of it, that kind of thing. And then again, if anybody has any questions about the product, whether either pre-sale or if you've already purchased and you have questions already, just post them right on the events page. I want to go ahead and do a rundown of those my partners that are with me today. I've got Adam, Chris, Marco, and Zane, and I'm going to go right down the line. Hey, Adam, how are you?
I am doing outstanding. Glad to be here.
Good. Chris
Excellent.
and Marco.
Hey man, what's going on?
Sunny and warm in Costa Rica.
It's raining right now, man, but it was warm and sunny until about 5 minutes ago.
And last but not least, Zane Miller.
Hey everybody, why don't you guys let us know where you're watching us from? Because I'm from Utah, Marco's in Costa Rica. What about the rest of you?
That's a good point. Yeah, we never
Yeah.
do that kind of stuff.
So we gotta be more personable. Austria, all right. Upstate New York. So
I'm Culpeper, Virginia, so about 60 miles southwest of Washington, D.C. Anybody else, go ahead and post on. And so, guys, a couple things I want to talk about. I'm just going to go ahead and move the screen, or just take the screen and put it on screen share so that you don't have to stare at my face. Let me do that real quick. And you guys should be seeing my entire screen now. And I'm going to pull up the event page. Looks like we don't have any questions just yet, and I know it's early, so anybody that has questions, post them on the event page. I'm going to jump over into the actual training for a minute, and we'll go through this just so people can get an idea what the content is, what they can expect with inside the course. And one thing I want to talk about today as kind of a launch webinar was what Content Kingpin is really about, and so that people get an understanding, and you can check out the sales page, and I explain a lot through the sales video and also the copy on the page, but really Content Kingpin is a process that I developed. It's primarily curating content and how to curate content on the web and then republish that and use that as the content for money sites, for lead gen sites, for client work, for link building, tier 1 link building, which, guys, anytime you're building links, you should always use pristine content for tier 1 links, in other words, links that are pointing directly to your money properties. That's really, really important, and that's where I learned how to curate content and started applying that to my own business for my own SEO needs originally. It was specifically for SEO purposes originally. But then what I've discovered was that curating content and content marketing in itself can be an entire business. And so a whole division of my SEO agency kind of evolved, and a content marketing division evolved out of this new skill, this new product that I had available, which was curated content. And I was able to start selling that as a service, and in part, really, it was just because I needed content marketing on a consistent basis as part of my SEO strategy. But what dawned on me was that it could be a service that I could sell in and of itself, apart and separate from SEO. And that's what Content Kingpin really came about, was because it was a process that I developed many years ago when I first opened my agency in 2012, and it's something that I was able to scale because it was something that I could teach to virtual assistants. And that's really what I want to kind of convey right now, is the ability of content marketing is in such high demand, and it's only growing in demand like leaps and bounds. It's growing exponentially or geometrically. More and more businesses are needing, and why is that? Well, because content is part of an SEO strategy. It's part of, it does the things that, gives Google the signals that it wants, which is related and relevant content updated regularly across your digital assets. It gives you content to share across your social media sites so that you have consistent and regular updates for your social media, which in turn drives traffic, helps with SEO. So, I mean, there's just so many benefits to having to content marketing, and I think it's really necessary in today's environment. In today's digital landscape, it's absolutely critical to be content marketing, or have content marketing as part of your overall marketing effort, your marketing strategy. Okay? And the problem is that most content, it's difficult to generate high quality content when you're for a good price, for a reasonable price. unless you're hiring, unless you're hiring subject matter experts, which in that case you're not going to find anything that's reasonable. It's probably going to be rather expensive. And what I found was that was very, very difficult to be able to offer that as a service to local business clients, content marketing, for a reasonable price if I was paying an expert writer in that industry. First of all, having to find somebody that's an expert in that particular field or topic to be able to write for you. That's difficult, all in itself. But then to find somebody that is willing to write for you for a decent price, that's difficult. So there wasn't a lot of spread there as far as markup, potential that I could mark up services from other people writing. And so, I was looking for a better way. And so I started actually writing a lot of my own content originally many years ago. And and it was just really inefficient. I wasn't a subject matter expert on most of the things anyways. And so I would have to do a lot of research just to write a simple blog post. Excuse me. And of course that wasn't efficient. It was a huge time waster. So when I learned what content curation was, it was interesting to me because I saw the potential of being able to generate content much, much quicker and actually not having to be a subject matter expert, because other people on the web that are subject matter experts produce really good content. So why not just borrow some of their content? And you got to do it in a proper way. There's no question. You can't just take other people's content and use it, guys. That's copyright infringement, and you can get in trouble with the DMCA, Digital Millennium Copyright Act. So you don't want to do that. You got to know how to cite and attribute the source. Attribute cite the source. Give attribution to who actually wrote the content. And we talk about that inside the training. But once you understand the mechanics of curating and how to do it properly, it's so much easier to be able to generate content that is high authority, engaging type content that is topically relevant and much better than trying to fake it or hire content farm writers to produce content that has just been scraped from the web and put through a spinner. And maybe, perhaps, if they're good content farm writers, they've edited the spin tap, they've edited it once they've spun it to where it's readable. But that, clearly anybody that knows anything about a subject that would come by and read an article like that is going to know it's crap. So once I realized that content curation could be a great way to be able to generate content very, very quickly and borrow the authority and the expertise of others, then I realized that that was the way to go. And I cut my blog posting times down, even for money site content, guys. I'm talking about content that I would post to my clients' sites. I would cut it down from maybe 2 hours from a blog post to 20 to 30 minutes of my time. And then once I refined that process a bit and I had a pretty good system down that I was following myself, and again, this is back in my early days of when I had first opened my agency, so I was doing a lot of the work myself, but once I learned how to actually outsource and hire virtual assistants, the process that I developed for content curation was something that could be taught to others. And I, just like in all of our other courses, guys, I highly encourage you to go outsource this work. One thing you can do is pick up this course and then plug your virtual assistants that you hire into the course and let them go through it, and when they come out of the other side, other than just a little bit of guidance and direction from you, their employer, they'll know how to curate from that point forward. And that's really what I did, and I was able to scale. And I hired a couple curators to begin with. I trained them, and then it scaled all the way up. And right now I have 9. I have a total of 9 curators that I manage, and some of them do curating for link building. So those are like Philippines VAs. So English is not their native language. That's not their native speaking language. So I use them for like link building type curated posts, which I think is important. For money site posts where I have to have content that's a bit more top tier content, I have native English speaking curators, which I pay more for, but they're definitely worth it. And what's great is we're able to generate content very quickly for a fraction of the price that it would have cost to hire a subject matter expert. So for example, just because I know that this is, the reason I'm telling you all this, guys, is because you can create a whole stream of revenue just from content marketing. Forget about SEO for a minute. Yes, you can use this, by the way, as part of your SEO plan, but you can also have a content marketing business, which is essentially arbitrage, right? You find a client that needs content marketing services, which they're a dime a dozen now. They're all over the place because, again, the demand is going up so much. find clients that need content marketing, which is pretty much any local business. Any business, period, is going to need content marketing services. And then you tell them, okay, it's going to be X amount of dollars per post. We're going to do 2 or 3 posts per week, so that comes out to be, blank dollars per month. And then you go find a curator and train a curator, or hire a virtual assistant cold, put them through this course so that they can be your curator, and then pay them obviously less than what you're receiving from the client. And so, for example, with my money site curators, the ones that curate on my client sites and my own lead gen sites and things like that, I pay anywhere between $8 to $15 per curated post, depending on what topic they're curating on, who the client is, what the budget is, all that kind of stuff. But I pay anywhere between $8 to $15 per post. But I charge anywhere between $15 to $35 per post to my clients. So, and if we're doing 2 or 3 posts per week, let's just say that I'm paying my curator $10 per post and I'm charging $25 per post, and I'm doing 2 posts per week. That's only $50 per week to the client, so it's $200 a month. But I'm only paying the curator $10 to $80 for the month. So it's $120 in profit that I really have nothing to do other than originally train the virtual assistant, and then when we first set them up for a new client, I have to kind of guide the content sources. I have to work with them just briefly while they gather the content sources in which they're going to be pulling content from. And that's just kind of a little bit of oversight that I do as the manager, as the point of contact with my clients. But other than that, once it's handed over to the curator, we've got the process in place, which is just a matter of minutes once you have the system in place. Then they can start curating, and it's literally just money in the bank for me. Every single month, like from that one example, I'd be getting $120 a month. Well, that's very scalable, guys. You can repeat that across multiple industries. You can repeat it across multiple clients. For link building, I use Philippines VAs, like I said, that I typically pay on the neighborhood of like $4.50, $4 to $4.50 per hour, something like that. And they can curate posts that I use for link building, for Tier 1 link building, at the rate of about 3 posts per hour. So that's 1 post every 20 minutes. Or at $4.50 an hour, that's $1.50 per curated post. And curated posts are so much better for link building than trying to use content generators or spun articles, especially for Tier 1 links. And I know, some of my partners can chime in on this, but you don't want to use shitty, crappy content for Tier 1 links, because that can actually damage your site. So that's really what the whole idea behind Content Kingpin is, guys. Is it's training about how to create revenue from content marketing, but doing it in such a way that it's very, very efficient and easy to do and can be 100% outsourced, guys. And that's really the key. None of you guys should be curating your own posts unless it's something that you enjoy doing. Does that make sense? If you truly enjoy doing it, then by all means, that's what you should be doing to make money. But I bet most of you have content needs and you don't like creating it. So you can outsource it instead, and that's the point. Let's see. Questions so far. I'm seeing Adam posting. Let me see. I'll jump back over to the events page. Oh, look at all the people where they're at. Okay, Poker Pro says, is this the same U.S. content curation from Semantic Mastery? Yes, it's the it was Curation Mastery course. We updated it. We added some things. We took some things away. We reworked it. But yes, that is the Curation Mastery course from last year. Is essentially the meat of the content, because the principles haven't changed, but there has been some updating. How long does the JV contest last? I guess till the end of launch, right?
Yeah,
Adam?
I wrote that in there for Greg.
Yes. Did you say those who previously bought Curation Mastery will get Content Kingpin for free? Yes. Just submit a support ticket, guys. support@semanticmastery.com, and you will absolutely get it. So. Guys, if you have any questions, post them on there, and I'm going to jump back over to the training and show you guys just kind of a walkthrough of the site, so you can see what's going on. So, first thing first, when you come into the membership site, you'll see that this is the welcome video. I encourage you to watch that, because again, I talk more about why content curation is so important in content marketing in itself, and again how to monetize it. You guys, as if you're providing SEO services, I think it's absolutely required that you learn how to do this, in my opinion, because the quality content is so much better. It's much cheaper to produce, and you can get it done, very quickly. You can produce a lot of content very quickly this way. But again, as part of an SEO, whenever when I'm selling or pitching to a prospect, a new client, for example, part of my SEO proposal includes content marketing. That's just like, I don't do SEO unless it includes content marketing, because it's so critical to what's required nowadays. Okay, and so content marketing is really part of an overall SEO strategy and an overall marketing strategy. I don't want to say just SEO, because I'm talking about for social media and for driving traffic and all different kinds of stuff. Content marketing is just part of an overall marketing strategy. But I do have some clients that I'm not actually doing SEO for, but I'm providing content marketing services. So you can generate revenue from this regardless of whether you're providing SEO services or general marketing services, or if you want to do this particularly or specifically as just a content marketing business. Part of the reason I like that, by the way, is because if you're providing SEO services, that's a results-based service. In other words, you're promising a result from the SEO, whether that's higher rankings, higher visibility, improvement in the SERP position or search engine results placements position, or whatever it is that you're using to provide, or your key KPI, key performance indicators, right? Whatever you're trying to show your client with SEO, there's going to be some sort of results base. With content marketing, there are a lot of results that come from content marketing if done correctly, which improves SEO, and it can drive traffic, and it can provide content for social media properties. However, you can sell it on just an activity-based service, which means you're selling the service of producing content. So the results are a benefit. They're an added value from the content marketing or activity-based service, right? So the results are an added value, but really what you're selling is the activity. So those people that are maybe new to SEO, as you're learning, because SEO continues to become more and more complex, like almost daily, guys. You all know that. So if you're new and you're still learning, you can actually start generating revenue right away with content marketing services as you continue to increase your knowledge in SEO, right, and your experience. So I think that's an important thing to point out. So when you watch this, I recommend you watch this welcome video here first. And then there are some articles that I posted right here, which are just articles talking about content curation and some of the benefits that curation provides. And so I encourage you guys to actually click through and take a look at some of these. For example, I describe I referenced this article here about what co-occurrence is and why it's important for SEO. And so that's one of the benefits that content curation produces. All right, and so this is like, for example, these are just basically some articles that kind of reinforce which is interesting, because this is essentially curated content here, right? I went out and found a couple pieces of content that are reinforcing the idea that I'm trying to convey in my welcome video. So I basically listed those here and just linked over to them and cited the sources, right? And so those are, that's curated content, right? All right, so that's just the welcome page, and then inside the content, we're going to go through each one of these modules fairly quickly, and then we'll jump back over and take a look at some questions if there are any. The content, or curating content manually, is the first course or the first module. This is pretty much the bulk of the course here, guys. And the reason why, and I talk about this, there's an overview video and then a why curate manually video in the first section. And I talk about this. This is one of the updates. I trained all of my team, my virtual assistants, to curate manually. I've tried a ton of different products over the years, curating products, and what I found was none of them solved all the needs that I had. So I ended up learning how to do it manually myself, and I trained all my virtual assistants to do it manually. And then, like I said, I've purchased some other products that can speed up the process and make it easier to curate. And I let some virtual assistants try one product, a couple others try another product, and we went through, and it ended up that none of them were really all that great, and found out that I could curate manually almost as well. Now, since that time, one of the products that we review in the next section, the next module, which I'll show you next, is a product called Curation Suite, and it does really, really good. And if I had to start all over and train a new team of curators, then I would probably use that application or that platform. as part of their training and their overall workflow, their work process. But currently, since my team isn't broke, I'm not going to fix it. In other words, my team is doing a really good job with very little input on my part. So I don't really have to, I'm not going to retrain them. But that's part of what I talked about in the intro and overview. And then the rest of this training in this module here is specifically about how to curate manually, which I think you need to learn and understand before jumping into any product or application to help you, or any other tools for that matter. I think that you should learn how to do it manually first so that you understand the concept and you really grasp, how to curate properly. Once you understand that, then absolutely, if there's some tools out there that can make your job easier or your virtual assistant's jobs easier, then I highly recommend, especially if you're going to be turning this into a revenue generating activity in your business, that you should probably invest in some tools. All right, so we go through content sources and how to locate and gather content sources. A couple of tools in here that we talk about. One's free, a couple of paid tools as well to be able to help you organize content and keep track of notifications and updates of new content with your specific industry based on topics and keywords and that kind of stuff. Curating and publishing, I walk through and I actually step by step show you guys how to curate content both for money sites and for link building. And I give examples, and these are live examples that you can see, and they were over the shoulder. And so the first part of each one of these is where basically I walk through and I narrate why, what we're doing and why we're doing it. And then the second part of each one of those is where I go through the process very, very quickly, the way that it should be done once the process is learned. And that way you can see in real time how quickly you can generate high-quality content. Okay? I think that's important. Best practices, this module or section here is all about some rules that you should abide by whenever you're curating content. Guys, you got to be careful when curating content, because if you don't do it correctly, then you can essentially you're infringing on somebody else's copyright, and you don't want to do that. You can get in trouble for that. So you just want to make sure that you follow some simple rules, some very basic rules, and then you will be fine. And so we cover that extensively in Section 4. And then in Section 5 we talk about outsourcing curators, and I go through this presentation here where I really explain the process of how to outsource curating and what to expect from outsourcers, both money site curators and PBN curators or link building curators. Okay, and so I talk about that extensively in this. And then there's also a webinar that we have available, and this is a little teaser here, which can you can sign up for the webinar. It's free to sign up for it and attend the webinar, but it talks about our outsource Kingpin training, which will teach you how to outsource anything. And I think it's really important that anybody that's going to, unless you like to curate and you're doing this because that's what you enjoy to do, I highly recommend that you register for the outsource webinar and go through that and then determine if you want to start outsourcing, which I highly recommend that you do. All right, we're going to jump back over to content. Let me see. Is there any questions on Adam?
Nope, not right now.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, we're gonna wrap this up quickly then, guys. There's not a lot of questions. I just wanted to kind of go through and show what is inside the course and kind of give a little explanation. Curating tools and resources. This is where we talk about various tools that I just mentioned. And Adam, my partner Adam, he did most of these videos as well. And he did a review of all of these and then the demonstration of how each one of these work. And so if you're looking for some tools to help speed the process or to make it easier for virtual assistants, then I recommend going through here and finding what you think would work best for your business and selecting that product. Again, you can do it 100% manually with all free tools, but you can also do it with some paid tools or paid apps that can help you be a little bit more efficient with your time. Okay, so that's what's all right here. And lastly, Tube Kingpin, and Zane, you're on, so I'm going to let you talk more about this.
Yeah, for sure. Will you click on my screen? I'm going to do a quick screen share.
Okay, sure.
On my own, if that's cool. Alrighty then. So, everyone can see my screen all right?
Not yet. I can't see it anyways. Can anybody else see it?
Nope.
There
we go.
Cameraman.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you should be seeing the back end of the. Anyway, hi everybody. I'm the one that put together Tube Kingpin, and
I'm not seeing it. Anybody else seeing it?
Oh, I thought somebody just said yeah.
No.
They could see it. No.
I was seeing it.
I'm not seeing it.
Okay, well then, maybe you just go back to your screen. Then I'll just stop sharing mine.
Sorry.
I can see it just fine. So, but whatever, right? Let's see. Let me make sure I'm unscreen shared. All right, there we go. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to point out is to lay out and explain who this is definitely for, because I was very heavily influenced by Content Kingpin. So everything in this course relates directly to Content Kingpin. In fact, I would tell anybody that they should go through Content Kingpin first, or else Tube Kingpin won't make as much sense, right? So everything that I have done so far in my YouTube marketing has led to something like this, which is again why I was so excited about this. Because if you think about it, 1/3 of a video is actually text, like written content. And all the things that you learn in Content Kingpin show you how to find the very, very best content and how to present it in such a way that people are actually interested in it. So I look at it and go, well, if you're already doing all the work, just take one more step and produce some video out of it, right? Now, Tube Kingpin goes through all that. Let me jump right in. The first session is actually going to be a live webinar that we're going to be doing on Thursday the 1st. So I can really dive in and show all of you how it connects together and what the big picture is moving forward, because it's not just quality written content that's going to be needed, but in the near future you're going to be needing quality video content. So this is the time to get ahead of the curve, so to speak. Right now, one thing I want to show you here. Oh no, I can't. I can't show you my screen. Bradley, could you do me a favor and open up an incognito window real quick?
Sure.
I just want to show one example here. So search for natural liver diet.
Okay. Nice.
All right. Look at that. Hey, good old Zane, right? And just above that is the YouTube channel called Natural Liver Diet. Now, this channel has been here for years, and you know what? It is some of the worst written content I have ever used for a video. But that, I mean, again, it was really badly, poorly written and stuff like that. But it worked. It worked really well. This thing has not fallen for, well, since I put it up. Right, and I just want to make sure it was in an incognito window so you could see that it's legit. So again, you're taking what you're already using and you're applying it to creating video. Now there's a lot of ways to create video. I don't want you thinking like, oh no, now I got to do all this video creation stuff. In Tube Kingpin, the rest of the modules that I take you through shows you how to find the content. There's even video content that you can use and repurpose and be given permission to use. And the whole concept of tube spinning, as I call it, is taking all the tools that you already have access to in YouTube and using all of those properties, which we already know do amazing things for SEO, and we get into that as well. You can go back to the back end, Bradley.
So to clarify, though, because I want to make sure that this is understood, is you can also spin or create. You can also curate videos and drive traffic with curated videos through your channel, correct?
Exactly.
But then if you want to take it a step further, you can also create videos even from curated videos. You can start to create your own videos with some editing and stuff, and that's what you teach within the course also, and that's part of your tube spinning, correct?
Exactly. Thank you. Appreciate that. So the other thing I want to point out is that this isn't a course that you just kind of pick and choose. It is a sequential course. So you want to start at the beginning and you want to go to the end. And I have made sure I have gone over this obsessively and made sure the content was as short as possible and still covered all the points and kept a good momentum, right? They're short videos, but it gets to the point, one problem, one solution, boom, move on to the next point. So by the time you actually get to module 6, where we talk about YouTube remarketing, all the context is already there, so you can even take it a step further and leverage YouTube remarketing lists through AdWords for video to grow and develop a list that's beyond that obsessive fan base, right? You can zero in and target all the people who are, well, you know, I don't want to get too much into the remarketing, but what I'm really getting at is by the time you get to that point, you'll have so many resources and videos at your fingertips that you're just going to want to jump in and get going right away.
Yeah. And the beautiful thing is that those remarketing lists and that's the whole purpose of Tube Kingpin, guys, is to basically generate these remarketing lists, because anybody those of you that aren't familiar with AdWords for video, don't be scared, because Zane takes you through step by step on exactly what's needed to use this specific method. But the key is, when you're sending traffic with remarketing lists from YouTube, it's like 1, 2, maybe 3 cents per click traffic. It's highly engaging traffic, and it's dirt cheap. So I mean, that's hard to beat anywhere. And so you can generate these remarketing lists by curating content, YouTube videos, and then send traffic through your paid ads, anywhere you want, to your landing pages, your offers, CPA offers. If you're doing client work, you can send traffic to your clients' landing pages, whatever it is that you're doing. And that's really where the power is. So you're going to learn a little bit about AdWords in this training course as well.
And I do also want to make sure that everybody knows that everything that I teach you about AdWords doesn't cost you a thing. I show you a couple little loopholes that you can use AdWords to your benefit without paying for anything, but there are very important reasons why you need an AdWords account in the first place. But an AdWords account is free, so I'm telling you, please remember that you don't need to spend any money. You don't have to, but you definitely need an AdWords account to really bring it all together, because it's not just the content, it's also the interactive tools that you're able to turn on and leverage once you have all the pieces together, right? So again, that's why it's important for you to go sequentially through all the videos, so that by the time you get to Module 5 and you're pretty much finished with all the real content foundation parts, you know exactly what needs to be done. So please don't be swayed if you think, oh, I already know all that. No, not in the context that I'm teaching. It's a very specific format that I want you to understand. Right? Yeah. So just to recap, if you're not going to go through Content Kingpin, don't get Tube Kingpin. I'm going to be straight up with you, because it's not going to do you any good. Here's all the stuff that you've got. Now here's something even more powerful that you can do that can also be outsourced.
Yeah.
There you go.
Well, thanks. That was a very good explanation of Tube Kingpin.
All right, good. I didn't want to go too far off the rails, because, like I said, I got really inspired by you, and don't want to rant.
All right. Well, thank you, Zane. And guys, it looks like there's no questions, so I think we covered what it is we wanted to cover. We just kind of wanted to give an explanation of what it was, what it is exactly, what you're getting, show a preview of the inside, explain how you can make money from this, which again is why I really like it. It's not, content marketing was never anything that I really wanted to do. It's not something I intended on doing when I started doing SEO work, right? But it's part of an SEO strategy that then I found out later could be turned into a business all by itself. So that's where I realized that, hey, this is something that I could generate revenue from without even having to worry about the SEO, but it will benefit my SEO efforts as well. And so that's really why we wanted to bring this to market. Was we did last year under Curation Mastery, but I think that scares people away, because they think content curating, what is it? So we kind of repackaged it and are stressing more about how to generate revenue from it. Then the mechanics are easy once you have a process laid out. And again, if you're outsourcing all this, it's really easy, right? Because you don't have to do any of the work. So we wanted to really more frame it in a way that you guys see that there's revenue potential from knowing how to do this process, or at least knowing how to outsource this process. And guys, that's the best type of business, in my opinion, when you can basically sit back and collect money from managing just a small workforce that does all the work for you. And it's a great way to make revenue, guys. I highly recommend, no matter where you are in your business, that you maybe think about even adding content marketing as a service, because you can generate revenue without having to do anything but manage it, and it's very little work, very little effort to manage.
So I got a couple questions on that one.
Okay.
So can I build a quality blog with this strategy with really good articles?
Absolutely. Some of the biggest websites on the planet, on highest traffic websites on the planet, use curated content as at least part of their content strategy. So you can see examples of that on all the major SEO blogs, for example, like SEO, like Moz, for example, or Search Engine Land and that kind of stuff. Or you can see it on like Huffington Post and TechCrunch, some of the big tech blogs. So curated content it's all around us, guys, and it's sometimes disguised as other you don't know, you don't even realize it's curated content. It looks like content that was written, but it's just people citing other people's content and injecting their own commentary or opinion in between, to basically convey a point to the audience or to the reader.
Okay.
And a real quick point, also those same giants are also taking that same curated content and making a quick video out of it and doing the same thing.
So videos, yep.
Yeah, with videos. I mean, I've seen a couple like BuzzFeed, 16 million views. The video was less than a minute long, and there was no talking. It was just all images and text.
Yeah.
Pretty mind blowing, huh?
Yeah, right.
That's pretty cool, yeah. So I got another question. Is the whole strategy AdSense safe?
AdSense safe? That's a good
Yes.
question. I'm assuming it would be, but I honestly don't know because I don't do any AdSense stuff myself. I
So-
can't imagine why it wouldn't be though.
From what I've seen, and like from the quality and stuff from all these articles, I would consider it actually as AdSense safe.
hmm
So
I would say yes, and the reason why I say yes is because I did put AdSense on a couple of my PBN sites, guys, which are private blog network sites. I used to host quite a large network. I don't so much anymore because I don't use them the same way. But I had AdSense on a couple of those sites, the ones that I was receiving a large amount of traffic on, and they never got terminated. So I never got notification. So I'm assuming it should be fine. I don't know all the ins and outs of AdSense though. So
that's perfect then, yeah, because like if you're having a good AdSense page and you want to earn money on that one, that's writing all the good articles is like the biggest pain for everybody, right?
Yeah.
Looks like we've got a question here. Michael is asking, I have a question about what you charge clients for content curation. Can you be a little bit more specific about exactly what you charge them? So I guess maybe I don't know if we can go specifics about I'm charging this client this amount.
Well,
but-
yeah, no, it depends. It's always going to depend on the client, what their budget is. It's going to depend on the level of quality that's required. For example, I don't recommend going after legal niche, for example, because the legal niche you have to be really, really careful with any sort of information that you post on a legal blog. In fact, I would recommend that you only hire like a paralegal or greater to actually curate or write content for that. So it's not something that I would outsource to just a regular virtual assistant. But that's kind of one of that's not really all that common. Now, when it comes to like the clients that I mainly do curation for are most of the clients I service are contractors and home services industry. I have some clients that are limo service companies and insurance agents, and I've had some mortgage brokers and things like that. But for the most part, it's going to vary depending on what the client's budget is and the level of quality that you are producing. So, as an example, Michael, I can give you a range. Okay, like I mentioned at the beginning of this webinar, and you might have missed it. I pay for money site posts anywhere between $8 to $15. That's what I pay my curators. I charge my clients anywhere between $15 to $35 per post. Okay, and then what I do is when I'm submitting a proposal to them, I give it to them on a per post price. So let's say that I'm curating for the limo service company, which I charge $35 per post, right? And I pay the curator about $12 per post. But just to keep the math simple, let's say I pay the curator $15, I'm charging $35, so I'm making $20 for every post that the curator creates or publishes, I should say, right? So and I tell the limo service company when I'm pitching them or I'm giving them the proposal, okay, we're going to charge you $35 per post, we're going to do 3 posts per week, so that's 12 posts per month, 12 times 35, what is that? Quick math, somebody get out the calculator. I'm going to have to do that real quick, just give me a second. So that would be $35 per post times 12 posts per month, and that comes out to be $420. And then I'd be paying my curator $10 or $15 per post, and that's 8 posts or 12 posts per month, right? So 15 times 12 posts per month, that's 180. So it'd be 420 minus 180, be $240 spread, and that's what I collect. And that's paying the curator $15, and I told you I pay the curator $12 for that particular limo service company. So I'm actually making another $36 in profit on top of that. So I make about $276 off that one client per month to just manage the work or manage the curation. And it's very simple because, again, once the setup is done, which is really just helping the curator, and once they get good at this, you don't even need to help them do that anymore, but I was going to say to gather the content sources. And then you have to also run the content sources by the client and say, hey, do you approve of these? And by the way, you can ask the client if they have industry-related blogs, trade journals, anything like that that they already subscribe to, because most of them do. Most business owners have certain content sources that they go to and check, maybe not daily, but check often for updates in their industry, and those can be sources that you can use for curating. So again, it varies. On the low end, I pay $8 and I charge the client $15. On the high end, I charge I pay my curators maybe $15 and I charge the client $35, but that varies. If you're in an industry that has a higher I deal with a lot of like mom and pop and lower like smaller type contracting clients. So that's the type of fees that I can charge with the types of businesses that I service. Now, if I was working with larger companies, you can charge a hell of a lot more for content services. And if you don't believe me, go look at some of the high quality content services, content marketing services out there, and they charge over $100 per article for clients. Sometimes $200 or $250 per article, and that's no joke. But that's if you're going like for corporate or enterprise type content marketing service. So some of you that are doing larger clients, if you're doing larger client work, you can absolutely charge a hell of a lot more. I'm just giving you from the perspective of the type of clients that I deal with. If that makes sense. Okay, well, I don't see any other questions, guys, so I think we're going to wrap it up.
Sounds good.
Thanks for everybody being here. I appreciate that. If anybody has any questions, by the way, you can purchase Content Kingpin by going to contentkingpin.co. It's also the button on the event page here in the detail section says official site. You can click on that. That'll take you over to the sales page if you're interested. So again, thanks Adam, thanks Chris, Marco, and Zane.
Cool. Yeah. See you, everybody.
Cheers.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye, everyone.